I mean, I feel like that's why Nene brought that guy in. And I feel like we are going to see, I mean, to me, I think ultimately how much would fans love or hate or, Nene reappearing on Watch What Happens Live for just 30 minutes of she and Andy. I mean,
well, that would be great.
That would be enormous rating. Maybe not, but I think I don't know. I could be dead wrong, but I just think we're going to see her again on that network. I feel like,
and I mean, isn't it possible too? Like the Netflix thing is like, I don't know if you look at your books and your numbers, and I mean that even shocks me too. But it still is different if it's like you paid this person this, and it's like, oh my God, look at us. It's just it's different to me. This whole thing was so messy with all these claims in it. I don't know.
Well, I do agree, and you and I talked about this several times. Is how do you prove those things? Especially because what was fascinating about this is she was alleging a lot of them came from Kim Zolciak, but Kim wasn't one of the people she sued. So yeah, maybe the production company is responsible. And, to your point, it's the entertainment business. How do you, I mean, unless there are direct emails, texts from Andy Cohen from the production company telling other people do not hire her, how do you prove that? How do you prove you're blacklisted in Hollywood? I mean, she did seem like she was on a huge upward trajectory with Ryan Murphy and then nothing. And I'm going to read between the lines one more time with your Carlos King interview. But Carlos basically insinuated that the fame, like she became so famous. She was like Michael Jackson famous for a minute. And that went to her head. I mean, he says that on your show.
He does say that. Listen, I love Carlos King. There are plenty of things he said during our 2-part sit down that I just disagree with him on air. His whole take on RHONY and how that's going to play out. I was like, I don't agree with you, but I don't know. Like Carlos knows Nene better than all of us. And look, I believe her and Andy care about each other and that, but I mean, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I don't see how that's repairable after this, but stranger things have happened in Hollywood.
Well,
right?
I think if we're keeping score of whose predictions are most accurate, they're probably yours. So, and you really are. Like, I know the TLC world much better than I do the Bravo world. So I would go on what you're saying. You're right. I don't know. I feel like it's Hollywood and you never know. And I just feel like what an ultimate comeback if she ends up working with them. And to me, it's like, I kind of think it's a great time to do it, right? Because it's like, hey, I accused you of these accusations and then I don't know, maybe they weren't true. And now we're going to work together. We're going to work past our differences. Like, I don't know.
There's just so many, I don't know. It's so messy.
Ready. It is.
The audience is ready and they could certainly use her on RHOA. Yeah. But
I know I tuned in the other night watching RHOA again.
Listen, Candy Burris is a legend. Sheree Whitfield is a legend. Marlo Hampton is a legend. Kenya Moore is a legend. We have legends. It's just not sinking for me this season. It's just not. It's not bad. I will never not watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. The shade is real. I love them. I've had them all on this season. I don't know what I'm looking for. I mean, look at Jersey. Look at the shit that's going on. Melissa and Teresa, the rumor now from Frank Catania is they got into actually he had to physically separate them at the reunion. And I mean, I don't know. I just want something explosive. It's just not, but I do think they could use her on RHOA. I mean, speaking of all these, issues and what's going on, I mean, there's a lot, and I have more to say on this and persona non grata and racism when we get to the RHONY rumors. Should we talk about Garcelle and her children and what happened last week?
Have you been following all this? I mean, this is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, but it was also good to see everybody united, right? Like everyone standing up for Garcelle and Jax. And I mean, I guess too, what are your thoughts? And I mean, the story behind this and what people are digging up on Reddit, if Diana Jenkins is behind it, and it's really kind of wild.
I mean, look, again, I never put anything past these listeners, these fans. You guys dive deep. And I appreciate that. Dive deep and show me proof. And I'm willing to look. I mean, I think, first of all, you saw Bravo's statement, right? Like Bravo has released an official statement.
Yeah, telling fans to back off, which I think is great. I mean, I cannot believe that people are this guys, this is for our entertainment. They're shooting these people all day long, and we're getting the most interesting 15 minutes. I mean, you think about our days, right?
Did you see
Like,
Jax's statement too, by the way, about how
yeah, he's like, I'm a kid.
I'm
I'm
like a
going to
kid
high
and
school.
like
Like,
today's the first day of high school and most people are having fun and I can't believe I have to put this statement out for middle-aged women and like leave me the
it's
fuck alone, basically.
crazy. It's so nuts that you guys are going after their
And
kids. It's
Garcelle's
so
like, I
crazy.
mean, this is where it's like, I'm sure Garcelle wakes up and says, like, I'm sure she's had this conversation with Jax. I'm sure. And her children. Should mommy quit? And no, mommy should not quit her job because of this, but I'm sure you have that conversation, right? Like your mind goes there. This is
Oh yeah, yeah,
horrible.
totally, totally. You do anything to protect your kids and your family. And I think it's so sad, like her oldest son who has battled with addiction, and people are like, oh, your son's a drug addict, and you're accusing Erica of like drinking and everything. Maybe you should figure out what your son's. I'm like, guys, really? Like the guy is in recovery. Like the last thing you need is like a trigger. How awful would you feel if that was the moment? And it's, you can't blame anybody else for your own actions, but like if all this negativity was a part of a reason he started like using again, like what the fuck? You'd really want that on your conscience? Like stop.
I mean, people are sick. So it's like, I mean, and then like, did you read some of the comments? Because some of them are really talk about
They're
racism.
totally racist.
There's
Yes.
one that stuck out. I mean, I didn't look at all of them, but one about like your white daddy and all this. And it's like there's threats. Like, I mean, if I said this,
that was awful.
if I were
No.
Garcelle, like I would, I mean, I'm sure she has, like, you have to involve the authorities. I take threats very seriously. Like, leave Diana alone or else we're coming after you. I mean, I take any type of threat like that relatively serious if there's
What
enough
can
of
you
that.
do about that though? Anything?
I don't
think
know,
there's
but like
nothing you can really
to
do.
me, it's like at least for me, I would go to the police. I mean, if someone texts you and says this, that, the other, and I'm going to cut your throat, I'm going to come. If it's like a
Yeah,
true
violent. Yeah,
threat,
yeah.
you can go to the police, and then you can be found, honey. With the digital footprint today, like anyone could be found when it's like the authorities are involved. I'm not saying it's good, but like, look, I don't even understand why. I mean, the kid was told to get the fuck out of there. Why is anyone coming after him? I mean, if he said, go fuck yourself, woman, it's like, but the kid
Yeah.
left. It's like, I don't get it. Like all of a sudden we have all these Erica fans all of a sudden.
Well, that's why a lot of people believe they're hired bots, right? And, according to a Reddit feed, did you read all that? That,
No.
somebody analyzed a lot of the messages and
Yes.
they appear to be from bots because of the wording. I guess the words are the same, but changed for the most part.
That I read.
And they were also saying something about the icons of the people used are like just different. I guess people could run maybe reverse Google image searches and found, that they were just stolen from other people, which